So we're about less than a month away before the Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary, and Mortal Kombat 12 is on a lot of people's minds, or maybe Marvel vs. DC, as I covered in a previous video from an Edwin Twitter poll. But nonetheless, the 30th anniversary is approaching, and as always, as we get closer to some of these things, these leaks start coming out, and lo and behold, some insider scoop, possibly from a NetherRealm Studios employee, has been revealed or leaked. So we're going to go through that. It's very lengthy, so please bear with me as I go through all of it. But there's a lot of details in here, so very interesting. So let's waste no time and get to it. All right, so as I said, this is fairly lengthy, so just bear with me. But this comes from user Werewolf, and it's on GameFAQs, so you can go out there and find it on GameFAQs GameSpot. But it's from user Werewolf, and it basically says, "Greetings. I have a childhood friend that I used to play video games with a lot back when we were kids, and we're still in touch on Facebook to this very day. After we graduated high school, I went to trade school and learned skills that would net me $80,000 a year. Good job for him. But we went to blah, 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 blah. Skip through some of this. Okay. Got a degree in video game development, was recruited. He's recruited by none other than NetherRealm Studios right out of college. It says MK was a favorite game for both of them, especially MK9 and 10. So he says that he does hear a lot about what's going on behind the scenes, and he knew who was on the MK11 roster before anybody else knew. So he's going to give us the inside scoop on what Mortal Kombat 12, anything about Mortal Kombat 12, according to his friend that works for NetherRealm Studios. I like how he calls him tongue twister, the NetherRealm Studios mole. Interesting. I don't know if I'd use those specific words, but there you go. So he says, here, I'm going to get this working, y'all can see. And I'm going to read through this all together, but in the video, when I edit, I'm going to break it down in parts. So it says, here we go. Right off the bat, it says, there will not be an Injustice 3, and I covered this part, I believe, in a previous video. There will not be an Injustice 3, at least not from NetherRealm. The higher-ups at Warner Brothers told Boone and his team to focus on Mortal Kombat 12 instead of Injustice because the Mortal Kombat franchise is highly profitable, which we know, guess how many games they sold, which is quite a bit. That kind of makes sense. Injustice 2 only sold half of what Mortal Kombat 11 sold. No word yet if any other developer will be making Injustice 3 or not, but Mortal Kombat 12 was made a priority as a Discovery merger. Now, when I covered it in the previous video, I said that while it is true that Mortal Kombat 11 did make more than Injustice 2, those came out at different times, I do think with Injustice Mobile, more comic tie-ins, animated movie tie-ins, just anything they could do to beef up Injustice, because there is a demand for it based off of the poll that was recently done by Ed Boon. I think Injustice 3 should still stay with NetherRealm, and I think that they should still look into it. So I don't think they should abandon that entirely. Let's see. Continuing on, it says, the team at NetherRealm Studios, especially the writing staff, has been instructed no politics by the head of Warner Discovery, which is David Zaslav is the main head. Apparently, a new non-binary character was being fleshed out by members of the writing and design teams. The studio got a visit from some W Discovery reps from Hollywood who saw it and got the lowdown on the new inclusive character from a certain NetherRealm Studios team member. The reps then got photocopies of the character sketches along with photocopies of all notes pertaining to new character and an outline of the story mode script that made obvious certain NetherRealm Studios members' ambition to push their politics using the games. All without team's permission. Ooh, that's not good. Let's see. So it continues in saying, not even 5 days passed when Boone, Dominic, and a few other head honchos were summoned to a conference room with none other than David Zaslav, who made it clear that Mortal Kombat needs to steer clear of polarizing social issues such as LGBTQ+ rights and racial issues, or else NetherRealm Studios itself will get crap canned, and another studio will make all further Mortal Kombats, regardless of how well the game performs sales-wise. Ooh, I hope that's not true. Now, as far as putting social issues into the game, they kind of already did that with Mortal Kombat 11, 11, because, we have Melina and Tanya, who and Melina's ending are together and had a baby, so, we've kind of already done that. Unless David Zaslav is like, to stop it, don't do that anymore. Of course, racial issues. I don't think we need that. I think, there was the article that came out recently about the multiverses thing with Velma, and her, with her and LeBron James. There's like a screenshot going around of her one of her moves is she summons the police because she's part of the Scooby-Doo gang, and when they catch, you know, one of the criminals, they always have the police there. So one of her things is she calls the police and she's pointing, and then this, you know, screenshot, she's pointing at LeBron James. And so with all the, you know, Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff with the police, that's obviously not good. So that's just not something we need. So I can see that kind of could be taken the same way, like if they brought Stryker back, and it's possible they could do stuff. But I mean, I would think that Boone and his team are smart enough not to do that. With the LGBTQ plus stuff, I mean, they kind of already did it in 11, so I mean, does it really matter now? Let's see. We have Reptile, Ermac, Quan Chi, and some 3D era characters such as Dagon, Hataru, Boraicho, and Nitara will be back. These are all characters that we talked about in many, many, many videos in the past. So, of course, take those with a grain of salt. Along with such mainstays as Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Shang Tsung, Katana, Melina, etc. Etc. being, I guess, the main crew that we always see in all the games. Devore and Kodokan will be in the game, but will only be minor players in the story. I still feel that we did not get our proper revenge with Devore for what she did to Melina, but, you know, hey, each their own. It says, the Great Kung Lao will be a new character in this game, along with some revamped characters who have been given new backstories to fit into the prequel timeline the story is set in. The Scorpion in this game will be an ancestor of Hanzo Hasashi. Okay, so we're going backwards. And one of the Shirai Ryu's founders. The same was Sub-Zero. The story will also delve into the Lin Kuei's origins in Outworld. That could be interesting. How they fled to Earthrealm to escape Shao Kahn's wrath, and why their feud with the Shirai Ryu began. I think that'd be great to kind of delve more into that one. I don't know if MK Mythologies kind of already did all that, but, you know, it'd be kind of cool to go even further back. It says stage fatalities will return, and some stages will also have transitions. Transitions have not been used in the series since Mortal Kombat versus DC, and you could also do a lot of damage to some of the stages, so I think that'd be good. Friendships are gone since they will not fit into the tone of the game. X-rays and brutalities will stay, and the test your might minigames will also return, which I'm cool with. Friendships, they were fun, but I mean, we don't need them in every single game. Maybe later on down the line they can unlock it like a DLC or something like that. Customization will not be coming to MK12 from Mortal Kombat 11, unfortunately. You know, comparative to the last leak we just talked about, customization was there. So I'm interested. I wonder why that's not coming. I wonder if some of the characters that we're going to introduce just don't have a whole lot to customize. Maybe possible. I don't know. That may not be true. One of the newest features will be character-specific fatalities. When used, this will work in the same way as the intro dialogues. Let's say you're playing as Scorpion and player 2 is playing as Sub-Zero. You defeat player 2 and you punch in a certain fatality code that triggers a cinematic depicting a fatality, or one in a series of fatalities that Scorpion only performs on Sub-Zero. This will be more cinematic than normal fatalities and include some dialogue. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking, dang, if the roster's got like, let's say 20 characters, that's a lot. But if they're up for the challenge, I'm down for it. It goes on to say, speaking of fatalities, I've been told that some of the stuff that has been storyboarded out will be more gruesome than anything we've seen in Mortal Kombat 11. We're talking Takashi Mike and Dead Alive era Peter Jackson levels of blood, gore, depravity, and humiliation for the defeated character. Okay, so up in the ante, basically. It says, the one I was shown by my friend was of Devore's version of the Kiss of Death fatality, and even the drawing form, it was quite nasty. The M rating is really going to be pushed in this installment, which I think for Mortal Kombat fans, that's exactly what we want. It says certain female characters will be sexed up again like they were in Mortal Kombat 9 with skimpy outfits and idolized bodies. My friends made video capture showing a nearly complete model of Katana in her MK9 main outfit with body physics already attached. The upper and side portions of the screen had all the NetherRealm Studios credentials clearly displayed, and the model file was titled Katana MK12 alternate.ma, so I'm confident I was shown a genuine asset made by the NetherRealm Studios team. Along with being shown the Katana model, my friend also told me that the team has put a lot of time and money into R&D regarding realistic character physics, and it really showed in that model. I've been told that we'll see muscles flex, we'll see flesh ripple in slow-mo during x-rays when struck, which is cool. We'll see arms dangle when broke, we'll see Reptile's tail swash around like that of an alligator, and I've seen not only Katana's breasts, that's nice, but also her butt cheeks jiggle and collide with each other realistically when her model was being spun around in this video. Okay, nothing was overblown or extreme like the DOA games. Okay, if that's what you're thinking, good, because I don't know. Some people want that. I don't want that. The goal of the physics, I've been told, is to add an element of depth and realism to what we will be seeing on our TVs and computer monitors, which I think we're all down for, more realism. And finally, your character and their opponents could have limbs broken and or lose stamina throughout the duration of the map along with usual physical damage, which would alter how you play your character in real time and make matches more visceral and realistic, which I think should happen because, one of the things with Mortal Kombat is when you get injured or whatever, you kind of keep going until your bar is, you're out of life. So it's nice to know that if you lose limbs or you get damaged, your stamina is not kept up with until maybe get the upper hand on the opponent. If this is all set in stone, like my friend says it is, we could be in for one hell of a Mortal Kombat. However, Warner Brothers' new ownership is unpredictable and it could all change with a phone call. What do you think about all these details? Better or worse than Mortal Kombat 11? Very, very interesting. I and I appreciate y'all staying with me this long because it was a long leak. But a lot of good details that were in there. I think, if anything is a takeaway from this particular, inside scoop, is how much David Zaslav and the Warner Brothers Discovery team is going to have a play in this game. A lot of what's been going on with Warner Brothers Discovery has been more of them making cuts and pulling things out and doing this or that. And it's kind of shaking up the Warner Brothers, side of things. But, there's been articles where they said they're leaving Warner Brothers games alone for now, but maybe not so much. Maybe they feel like, while they're going to leave the studios under the Warner Brothers game blanket in play, that doesn't mean they're actually going to have any type of their hands involved in projects. So that's kind of interesting. The other part of this, I think, is stuff that we've kind of all heard before as far as those characters, 3D era. Everybody wants to see some 3D era characters come back in the game, and so this is probably a chance for them to do so. Also, as far as some of the stages being more interactive, the fatalities, I think is a very interesting note. That character-specific fatalities thing, I think I'd be down for that. Even the more realism, doesn't have to always be graphic content per se, but just as far as the ripple of the skin when you get hit and stuff like that with the extra, I think that'd be something I'd be kind of cool with. And I also like the idea of kind of, if we're going to go back to the Great Kung Lao era, having some of the, main staple characters in Mortal Kombat, if we kind of go to their ancestral versions of their characters, and giving them different backstories and maybe connecting more of the history that we don't know about, I'm always down for that. So what do you think about this massive inside scoop for Mortal Kombat 12? A lot of details to break down, but what do you think about it? Are these things you want to see in the game? The characters that he mentioned, are those characters that you want to see? What features do you want to see in the game? And do you think this is something that we could see announced or hear for the Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary? Love your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it for this video, guys. Remember that like button. For more, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.